It's a dream many young women hope for and dream about, a modeling career with all of the attached glamour and glitz. But last week, KSL investigative reporter Debbie Dujanovic reported on one Utah talent agency whose business practice gives this career choice a black eye.
Whitney Moore was on the job at Walmart when, out of the blue, a true talent representative spotted her.
He introduced himself and said I had the perfect physique for a model. And it was pretty flattering.
She was invited to audition at True Talent headquarters in Holiday.
And he said, that was so great. I really want to get you signed up. I think you could do really well with this. And so I'm kind of thinking, oh, I'm going to get a job. They're going to be an agency for me.
They brought out her contract. Only it wasn't to become the next top model. Instead, the contract required Whitney to pay True Talent $2,000 for photos and acting classes. She couldn't afford to pay that in cash, but a company controlled by a relative of a True Talent executive was willing to finance the payment. Whitney signed up last summer. How's her career gone since?
They don't get you jobs. I don't know what the courses are like. I was never able to take them. I'm paying for services I've never received.
We found complaints about True Talent at the Better Business Bureau and with the state of Utah. Apparently, you never know where a True Talent representative could spot you. The mall, a store, at school. People say they were approached, told they had the look, offered a free audition, and that's where the free part ends. After the audition comes the contract. Aspiring actors and models wind up paying hundreds of dollars for classes and photos. Some say they're still waiting for work.
This is a problem that happens all too often in the modeling world and in that industry. It leaves people skeptical and also delusioned, but it doesn't have to be that way. Trudi Tapscott is joining us. She's a former booking agent for Vogue magazine and now works for one of the top agencies in the world, DNA Models in New York City. Erin Olson also joining us, a local agency owner. And you both say there are things that you need to be aware of when you approach this industry. First, let's tackle the situation in that story by Debbie Dujanovic. Is a fee expected when you sign up for modeling agency?
No, and no point ever should a model ever have to pay any money for classes or photo shoots. Like Trudi was mentioning too earlier, there's sometimes that there's an investment in what's caused, but an agency should always invest in the model instead of having the model invest in her business up front. So
let's define investment, Trudi. What type of investment can parents or potential models expect to put up?
Well, it gets confusing because the first and foremost, any authentic scout who is looking for talent to sign with a legitimate agency who authentically wants to get you work, the next question is not, please give me money so that I can prove to you that I can get you work. The next question really is, let's find out and figure out a plan. You do need to make an investment in pictures, but it's not an investment in a portfolio with one photographer. A test book is done over a process and a series of time, which you do with an agency once you have one, not to get an agency. So the whole purpose of the book and the investment is to get work, not to be signed with an agency. And that's where the confusion comes in, and that's where the misleading guidance from people who are out to abuse the situation and mislead your dream. That's, I think, where it all happens in the local market.
There's also some confusion as far as them taking classes and having to feel like they need training before they start modeling. A lot of times when they're trying to get with an agency, it's almost better for them not to have the training at all.
How come?
Because it's I think that just to what they, especially if you want to work in a bigger market like New York, you want to have that agency develop you themselves instead of being developed on a local level. And you just really shouldn't have to pay for that anyway, because the agency will help you with that for free.
Okay, so the payment comes in forms of headshots, in forms, in the form of pictures.
It's a process. I mean, we teach them. I mean, it's an on-the-job training that goes on. We teach them to walk. When you come to New York, you learn how to walk. It's not something that you are taught before you come. It's something that we work with you and you learn how to walk, and you have walking classes with your agency.
So if an agency wants you, they're going to invest the time in you and the teaching in you?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything from clothes to shoes to how to dress, what you should do, what you should say on a casting, who you're going to see, why you're going to see them. Absolutely everything from beginning to end.
We hear about, those stories where people are spotted or approached in public situations. Is that right there a red flag? If
No.
No, not necessarily.
No,
that does happen.
People don't come to New York. First of all, everyone comes from somewhere, and it's not from New York City or Paris. So everyone has a hometown, and you don't necessarily know what it takes to be a model. It takes someone, a professional, authentic someone, to come up to you like Erin, who believes that you can do it, and who's going to give you guidance and proper advice on how to go about doing it with your best interest in mind. So you do need someone to tell you. You can send in snapshots. To interview or to come and meet me does not cost you anything, ever.
They're out there looking for those models.
We want to
People
find,
like you are
yes,
out there
we want to
looking.
always find someone.
And for the moms out there who may have young daughters,
Yes.
maybe teenage daughters, who are
Absolutely.
wanting to break into it, it is a dream of so many girls out there. Quickly, some advice for those moms. What are modeling agencies and scouts actually looking for in terms of talent?
Well, we're a fashion agency, so I mean, the local market is a little bit different.
A little bit different.
Erin, can you
But
address
as far, I don't really deal too much with local marketing, but as far as what they're looking for, usually someone between the ages of 13 and 19 years old, somebody who's over 5'8", usually sizes between 0 and 4, sometimes unfortunately, but that's just the way that the industry is. So, yeah. And you can, you know, if you want to know more, you can go on my website, ecomodels.com, and we have the guidelines right there called Eco Models.
Great. Thank you so much, ladies, for stopping in. I appreciate you. I know you're on the road, so we appreciate you stopping in and sharing your insight with us. And, of course, in conjunction with Debbie Janovic's story, there are also tips available on KSL.com if you'd like more tips and really some signs of what to watch for if you are approached by a local scout or talent agency. Now we'll go over